What happens inside of you when you've had a disagreement with someone? Say it's your friend, a parent, maybe your husband or boyfriend. Do you get that sinking feeling on the inside and get paralyzed in it as you go back and forth trying to figure out if you were right or not? And even if you're sure you were right, then you still feel bad for having said something. Then you start criticizing yourself about why did you say something? Things weren't really that bad. You could have put up with what they were doing. What's wrong with you? And you just get trapped in that spiral of thinking, right? And you can't get out of it. It's such a horrible feeling. That's the feeling of shame. Today, I want to help you to understand where shame feelings come from and how to move out of them. Well, if you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Tawnya Kordenbrock, and I am the person behind arenewedlife.com, where I help women to be able to rewire their brains, to get unstuck, to break free from feelings of fear, anger, and shame, to be able to love themselves, to feel loved by others, and to have a deeper relationship with God. And I hope that you will stick around here. Go ahead and subscribe so that you can receive more of these teachings. But also at the end, I will tell you about a free resource that I have for you to help you with your self-image. As we get started, let's first look at what it is that's behind shame, what it is that's fueling it, powering it. This is going to be your beliefs. Beliefs about yourself, about others, and beliefs about God. So beliefs about yourself, such as that maybe you see yourself as an idiot. And this is what you say: I am such an idiot. But it goes beyond that. It has this feeling with it that everyone knows it. I'm an idiot, I'm bad, and everyone sees me that way. Or you may believe that you're unlovable, or at the core of yourself, that there's just something innately wrong with you, that you can't make things work in life, or that you can't be loved and accepted by others. Or perhaps you see yourself as disgusting, and then you look at all that is wrong with you, about your character, about your looks, and how no one could or even should love you at all. Then there are your beliefs about others, and you see others as somehow being smarter than you, better than you, more right than you are, and when they treat you badly, then somehow you feel like you deserve the treatment that you've received from them. And so then you don't do anything about it to change it, or you don't speak up about how you feel because you believe that you deserve it in some way. Now, this also extends to God and your beliefs about God. And in the women that I have worked with in my online program and previously in my counseling private practice, they would often view God as finding them disgusting, or that He is angry with them, or that He is disappointed with them. These are all the beliefs that they are projecting onto God and saying that He is seeing them in this way. Let me know in the comments if any of this is sounding like you. Things that you tend to say to yourself about yourself, how disgusting you are, how bad you are, or things that you kind of tell yourself about others. And then what kind of beliefs do you have about God? Do you tend to see him as always being angry at you, and no wonder people treat you as they do, since you deserve it anyway? Let's take a look now at the roots of shame. Because, all those beliefs that you have about yourself, about others, about God, and how he sees you, those weren't there in the very beginning of you, when you were born as this incredibly wonderful infant. You weren't that way, and that you didn't have those beliefs there. And let me read something to you. I want to share this with you. If you've never read Psalm 139 and about God's view of you, and how he saw you even before you were formed, and as you were being formed, as he was forming you in your mother's womb, I encourage you to look that up. I'm going to read part of it to you right now, though. This is, again, it's Psalm 139. I'm going to read verses 13 through 18. And this is in the Passion Translation. So listen to this. You formed my innermost being, shaping my delicate inside and my intricate outside, and wove them all together in my mother's womb. I thank you, God, for making me so mysteriously complex. Everything you do is marvelously breathtaking. So you hear that goodness that is there of how God it's this incredible thing that he has done in creating you. It simply amazes me to think about it, how thoroughly you know me, Lord. So he's not surprised at what you are like. He knows you thoroughly, and yet it's incredible. You even formed every bone in my body when you created me in the secret place, carefully, skillfully shaping me from nothing to something. You saw who you created me to be before I became me. Before I'd ever seen the light of day, the number of days you planned for me were already recorded in your book. Every single moment you are thinking of me. How precious and wonderful to consider that you cherish me constantly in your every thought. Oh God, your desires toward me are more than the grains of sand on every shore. So that talks about how God sees you and how incredible you are, and yet you were even at birth. So where did these beliefs come from then? How did they get in your head? How did they get within you to such a degree, to such a depth, that they go down to your core, that you believe them no matter what happens, that you believe these things about yourself? Well, I want you to first think back to when you started believing this way. What is an early memory that you have where you felt embarrassed, you felt bad, you felt ashamed? And my guess is this was probably because, now if you look back on it now, as a child, you couldn't do anything about this, and you believed what was being said about you as you were being hurt. This embarrassment was occurring, or someone was shaming you, that you believed it, that you took it in because you didn't know any better. Now you can look at it and you can say, well, the way that my dad, my friend was treating me, or my uncle who was living with us, the way he treated me, the way my mom's words came across to me, or an older sibling, all of that, at the time, you took it in as truth. But now you can look at it and say, that wasn't right. That wasn't right how they treated me. But yet you still believe this. And here is why. It's because it became so ingrained within you. Normally what I have seen when working with women is that this has been a repeated event or a series of events that have occurred within their life that has had this effect of kind of just like pounding those beliefs into them. And so now it feels like this is who you are. It feels like those beliefs are really the truth. Now let's take a look at how to heal shame feelings. And the first thing that you need to do when you become upset, when you've had a disagreement with someone, or you are disappointed with yourself, or you're disappointed with how a situation that you had some goals for, how that turned out, I want you to notice the shame arising, because it's going to kick in right away. You're not going to be used to seeing it. It's going to take over. All those thoughts are going to come, and it's going to take over, and it's just going to, throw its heavy wet blanket on you and cause you just to pull in on yourself and to shut down, and to become frozen in that shame, right? So you have to slow yourself down some and purposefully notice there's the shame rising up. And then notice there's the shame telling me these things. The shame is telling me I'm disgusting. The shame is telling me no one can ever accept me or love me. The shame is telling me I'm always wrong. I should just shut up and not say anything about my feelings. The shame is telling me I'm being selfish for feeling the way that I'm feeling. And then I want you to also consider, okay, so that will help you to become cognizant of what's going on, and that will help break that pattern of response loose some. But also, you need to gain a deeper understanding of how this has developed in your life, and why it is that with what happened to you, that you took on shame as this coping mechanism for the pain that was occurring. Because normally what shame does, it serves this kind of crazy purpose. It's not crazy like you're crazy. It's unexpected, an unexpected purpose of protecting you. And so it's when women carry shame, it is a little bit difficult to work with breaking that off of them, because they want to hold on to it. So we always look at why you want to hold on to shame, why it feels scary to even think of letting that go and having it no longer be a part of you. And this is because the shame is a way of protecting yourself. It is a way of protecting you from being rejected by others, so that or feeling the hurt of their words. So that if they say something hurtful, then it doesn't feel as bad as it might because you already believe this about yourself. Or you are protecting yourself from being rejected by setting yourself up to almost like a self-fulfilled prophecy. Oh yeah, see, I knew they were going to reject me. So then you're not as deeply hurt because you saw it coming, right? But you kind of also set yourself up. There's a third reason, and this is that when you hold on to shame, it also gives you a connection with the person who has repeatedly hurt you. Kind of, you're in a place of agreement with them that what their treatment of you, what their words about you, how those have impacted you, cause you to believe about yourself and believe about others and about God. You have taken that on and received it as truth, which puts you in alignment with how they are seeing you or what their treatment says about you. And that gives you an emotional connection with them, almost like a bond with them. And so there can be somewhat of a fear deep inside you that doesn't want to let go of the shame, because then you would fear that you would lose love, that you would never have anyone, and that you need this shame. You need to put yourself down and believe this about yourself in order to stay in relationship with this person. Well, there's a lot more to this, and it's definitely something I work with women on in my online Mastering Emotions program. But I think that can give you some good solid steps to take for today of gaining an understanding of what is fueling the shame, which is those beliefs about yourself, about others, and about God. And then also where those beliefs have come from, and then how to notice them and to be able to shift that pattern of response that's going on, and to notice that deeper part of you that's kind of wants to hold on to the shame and is afraid of letting it go. I hope that you will give me a thumbs up and let me know if you found this helpful. And also, I do have a free resource, like I said earlier, for you to help you with your self-image and to use scripture to be able to do that. And I will put a link for that below. Thanks for joining me today.